In order not to overwhelm you in the previous tutorial, I went ahead and separated out the margin section. So as you can see, everything is already formatted. Now, another point that some of you you go against is the margins. Let's go to the margins. So usually when you open up a Word document, the margins are already set correctly, and that is normal, 1 inch on each side. So go to where it says layout. You're going to see margins, okay, and it's normal. And this is how it should be. It should be 1 inch on each side. So for those of you who probably see my feedback and saying, what in the world is she talking about? 1 inch on all sides. That's the margin, okay? And it should be set to normal. Now, when you start playing around with different programs other than Word, your margins might come to me like this. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, that's distorted. This way, and I can tell just by looking at it that your margins are usually off. This one is the one that typically you guys that use different programs will have. And as you can see, that's Office 2003 default. So, I mean, it's 2020. I mean, if you're still using a very old version of Office, then that might be an issue. But even now, you should be able to save it as a docx, a doc. Anyway, so it should be normal. Some of you have custom margins because you're maybe using, WordPad or something like that. Anyway, okay. Also, some of you are using Word or programs that are set in Arabic, and I can't even mimic it for you. I would have to open up someone else's essay, which I do not want to do publicly. So what will happen is it will be, the paragraph will look to me as it's, right aligned, and like the period, I can't put the period after the sentence. It like comes before, unless I try to write another word. So the text wrapping is completely off. Okay. Sometimes it will be left aligned, and I still can't put the period properly after. You'll notice that maybe in your comments, where I wrote your comments on the right side here. Okay. So where I wrote your comments, you'll probably notice that the period is off. It's because your entire document is set to Arabic. Now, when it comes to fixing that, as far as I know, you would have to change the language on yours. So you can go to your help menu and you can contact support or view previous topics to try to fix that. Usually a message will come up on my screen to say, you might want to fix the language, but the language is fixed. So on my side, so there's nothing that I can do. If you cannot fix that, what's going to happen is that all of your all of your text is going to be out of order. Also, you're going to have these random spaces in between your commas. At first, I thought that maybe you guys were doing that yourself, just putting extra spaces. But now I realize that some of you, it's just your format. See how that comma is out there like that? Some of you can't help it. So again, that's a language setting for your Word Office. If you're using Google Docs, it should be easy for you to reset the language. So that's pretty much to answer your question on that part. Margins, 1 inch on all sides. Not much else to this tutorial. Okay, normal. And then if you have, like I said, crazy spacing in between your commas and periods, your periods are not in the right place, they're like before the sentence, it's because your language setting is still on Arabic. You need to change it to English if you can. If you can't, oh well. For this essay, I'm going to mostly be focusing on the content and not so much on little things. But if you have too many formatting mistakes, I will take off, 5 points. But that's mostly for the main structure that we went over in the previous tutorial. If it looks like this, but you have like some periods in the wrong place and some commas, guys, I'm not going to make a big deal out of that. Okay? All right, so that is the end of this tutorial. I hope both of these tutorials helped you figure out how to edit your academic essays in general and also for MLA format. Everyone take care.